Yeah. Came from the mud, I had to get up in my zone. And I ain't have a team, I had to get it on my own. The only ones I love, the ones I hit up on my phone. With nobody at the top, this how I feel when you alone. Had to get up on my self-love.
He just basically put in her head that I was running around telling people that, you know, what was happening in Kenya, and he just completely made the whole story up. But she thought maybe he knew you, know, just regular hating shit. You spoke to Abdullah?
He might be talking to Obama right now. Who knows? For real.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you back in 30 minutes.
Is that who's that? And what you talking about?
So that is my friend of mine who owns Major Food Group. So Carbone's, Dell's, ZZ's Private Club. Just bought the W Hotel in South Beach, and he's going to get financing from Saudi. And I'm concerned about the optics of going over there right now, given what's happening in the world. So we just...
Yeah, so while you were on the phone, you know, you got like spidey senses, so you probably heard everything from here to the damn cafeteria. But I'm telling them, like, no, capture that, because like this is who you are. And I'm in this space right now where I'm trying to sit with people that I can learn from, can teach us something. And so like, this is who you are. Like it's like beyond mogul to me. And I'm like, yo, you don't know who he's on the phone with. It could be Obama, it could be Roger Goodell. You feel me? So, and I'm gonna start it this way. Disclaimer, the set has changed. I wanted our bean bags haven't came in yet, because I want some like laying on the carpet, take off the shoes, different vibe. Let's peel back the layers. Let's have different conversations.
You talking about the socks? I got my my number one dad socks with my son on it.
That's your son?
Yeah, that's my son.
Did we capture that?
Yeah, we caught those.
We'll capture it after, And that's what I'm trying, because it's like, bro, we been there, we did that, and it's like, how do we, and this is what you inspire me to do, is like think differently. So Steve Stoute came in and said, I'm not sitting on the floor. So what Steve Stoute wants, Steve Stoute get.
I appreciate
and that leads me into this, bro. I can go back, actually, and this is just Instagram. I can go back to when I first got to the Jets and the Giants. I said, who do I need to know? That's 2015. And one of the first names that came up was Steve Stoute. So I reach out to Steve, and he accepts my offer, like, yeah, you can come in, boom, we'll have a conversation. I go into translation.
Yeah.
You are in this, I don't know, like somewhere in Manhattan, bro. This crazy.
It was a greenhouse. The office was a greenhouse.
And guess what? I was like, dude, this dude is different. Because you had your shoes off.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't have no shoes on. We had this meeting, he walking around with no shoes on.
You know, it's fun. I think I think growing up in Trinidad and like West Indian parents, like, we never wore shoes. Like I always would take my shoes off. Now, I got so comfortable as I became the boss of things or whatever, where I would take my shoes off in meetings, and I'll take my shoes off anywhere. But like, not wearing shoes to me, I actually like wearing, being with just socks or barefoot on carpet, to me is respectful. Like, to me, that's just respecting the carpet, it's respecting the space. So I was always comfortable wearing those shoes, but I also think taking your shoes off is a sign of respect.
And I literally just remembered, I was like, when I walked into your office for the first time, you ain't have no shoes off, and I'm looking at like, who is this dude? That's my first time hearing about you, right? And now we here, and this is the space that I'm in.
With no shoes on.
Right, and so.
We're keeping it consistent.
The space that I'm in right now is like respect. It's like, I'm respecting this space. I only want to sit down with people that can teach me something that I can learn from. And so I go back, and it's just an Instagram, because we started this relationship where I first met you in 2015, 2016. And I've been trying to catch up with you ever since. February 21st, 2021, Tanning of America. I don't know when it came out, but your book,
2011.
2011, so it's been out. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I read it. Mm-hmm. I text you, I DM you, phenomenal, bro. Learned a lot. Thank you. You don't respond. March 31st, 2021. Boss, no respond. December 24th, 2021. Boss, I need your mentorship. I've been trying to get with you since 2017. What do I need to do for a few minutes here and there? I have an amazing company that can be legendary with the right advisory. No response. October 18th. Steve, will you be kind enough to bless me with 1 hour? I know time is money, but I look up to you and I need some guidance. Would love to learn from you. October 21st. You finally respond to me during this year. Brandon, absolutely. Hell yes. I'm between Miami and New York mostly. I respond literally an hour and a half later. Major blessing, OG. Same for me. I'm in NYC every Monday, Tuesday through February. Miami the rest of the time. How's the next few weeks for you? I'm back next week. I'm in LA this week and back next week. I'm down to take an episode of your show. This is you.
Okay, good. You have to say that because when I start responding, I want to get credit for it.
Yeah, right. But I'm gonna tell you what, OG, that would be a blessing. I have modeled a lot of what I do after you. I'll follow up next week. I'm in Cabo, October 22nd. Perfect. This is you. Perfect. Safe travels. November 12th. Steve, because we still haven't connected.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, if I can just get Steve Stoute for an hour, I know this could totally change my life. It's almost like that thing that went viral with Jay-Z where they said, would you take $500,000 or an hour meeting with Jay-Z? And so this is how I'm thinking.
Lunch or dinner with Jay-Z.
Lunch or dinner with Jay-Z. So that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, if I can just get Steve for even 30 minutes, this could totally change my life. So I'm here. Yes, I'm going to be at the Dolphin game tomorrow. Enjoy. A pitch meeting just came up in NYC and LA. I'm back the end of the week. I'll follow up then, excited to catch up. So now it's on me. You gave me time and I missed it. Yes, I want to do the podcast and give extremely honest dialogue. This will be legendary when we start shooting in December. And I can go on and on. This happened, bro, for a couple of years.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I'm in Houston shooting something with another guy. And I'm in my hotel. I'm talking to Cam Newton. And we talking about this tour that we launching, right? That we already made the announcement. And I see Steve Stoute. And I say, Cam, I gotta call you back to Steve Stoute. I'd never seen this pop up. And so you called me and you said, B, like, let's talk, let's sit down. And that was the biggest blessing for me, bro, because that's why I wanted to like set the stage there because I'm like, yo, I would take a meeting with Steve Stoute for 30 minutes to an hour over $5 million. Because that meeting, and I'm trying not to get emotional, bro, that meeting with Steve Stoute probably turned me into a billionaire. And that billion I can then turn into like the impact that I want to create in the world.
So listen, Brandon, I respect that so much. I respect you coming here, just seeing what you built, the people you have around you is something special, man. And you took the long route. You were never, when you left the league, you were not bitter. You were at the top of your game. You went out quietly. I watched you build the relationships with Roger and all the guys in the league. You were very important early on when mental health came up in the NFL, needed to address it with the athletes. They were going through some shit with mental health and their lack of concern for it. And you were a very big part of help giving and providing education. They actually stood behind you because they needed your support on their efforts to do something about that. I remember that very specifically. And I was watching you move and I'm like, man, he's doing this thing. And then like even after that, then you went on to break through in this podcast world and it wasn't just some regular shit. Like you were changing the game. You have changed the game. And you've upped it. It's high end. And when you talk to me about ESPN and what you want to do in this facility, the only thing I'm thinking is like, it's absolutely gonna happen. Because I'm not walking around here feeling like it's any less than. I feel like it is. And you built that. So I'm proud to be here and talk to you and your audience about anything, man. Because look, whether it's, $5 million or, $500,000, I will tell you that if you know that you can meet somebody you look up to and somebody you respect, that you believe will give you information and intelligence on something that they uniquely have that could change your life, $500,000 is whatever it is nothing. You know, that's what people do internships. People do things, other versions of that to change their lives. When I left the record business, I went to the advertising business. I was in the record business. My salary was $2.5 million. That's what I was making. I was 28 years old, and my salary was $2.5 million in base salary. And then when I went into the advertising business to learn the advertising business, my right hand to God, my salary from that guy was $150,000, but I had equity. $150,000, I took equity. And going from $2.5 million to $150,000 is obviously a shock to the lifestyle. But it really wasn't for me because at 28 years old, I could afford to take that risk then. I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, so I didn't have an army of people that I was responsible for where that salary was gonna do, you know, I was reliant upon it for that lifestyle. When I sold the company, we sold that company and I was an equity owner, and by the time I was 31 years old, I cashed out, made $34 million on that. So taking $150,000 at 28, by the time it was 33, it was $34 million, right? So what did I pay?
Right. Can y'all get me tissue? Cause like really, like I'm really, people don't understand that the life of an entrepreneur can be lonely. People don't understand you. You know, half of the people are with you, half of the people are against you. And I'm gonna try to hold back these tears, but like.
The life of an entrepreneur isn't not only lonely. I said this
But
before, when people
hold on
ask
one second. This is why I don't even have to prep for this conversation. We just having a conversation. But bro, I'm in that right now where when you talk about going from 2.5 million to what you said, 150,000, that's where I'm at now. Like I was making $3 million taking the traditional route with FS1 and Showtime, and I said, no, I'm not going to go that route. I'm gonna go build my own platform, and I still haven't gotten paid. And the reality of it is, I'm in a position right now where shit can go all the way left, and you know, I go bankrupt, or this turn into $1 billion conversation. And so like for me, the space that I'm in and I've been in is like, if I can surround myself with the right people, I know I'm gonna make it, right? And so that's why like people like you are so important, and really like you, number one, you top of my list. And so, you know, it's lonely and it's interesting, and I'm gonna give it back to you, but like what you just said, and remember what I just wrote, what I wrote here, I said, bro, I modeled my career after you.
Yeah.
Now, an entrepreneur, bro, like, I don't know, maybe you can define this for us, but I feel like it's either in you or not. It's not for everybody. So, like,
all the time.
you inspire me, but, like, I feel like it was already in me, but you validate, like, yo, B, it's okay. It's okay to, like, put everything on the line, and shit can go left, but if it go right.
The one thing you got to learn as an entrepreneur, and I'll tell you this, I've never seen anyone fail that didn't quit. If you don't quit, you will be successful. The pressure for payroll, the pressure to get up every day and incentivize your team and make everybody know that we're going up in this direction, day in and day out. Then you have naysayers, people who don't believe in you. You gotta, and it could be your family, man, because shit gets thick. Right. And you gotta stay the course. And sometimes you get so into it that you may actually be delusional, or you may think you're delusional about your beliefs and your dreams, like, man, this shit ain't gonna happen. I hear it so much, it ain't gonna happen. It looks so tough. Why is it gonna happen? And then all of a sudden, boom, it's at that moment you get tested that you break through. It's at that moment you break through. So sticking the course and staying the course and not quitting, to me, is the most important thing you gotta do. So that's self-belief. It's not for everybody being an entrepreneur, because you know the basic secrets of success that people ask you, they're waiting for you to say something, and you're like, I'm like what's the secret to your success? Well, you know, I don't see my family much. I'm traveling nonstop. My sleep is kind of fucked up as a result. I've been in so many different time zones. I live here in Miami since June. Right? In the last 3 months, I've been here 9 days. I've been everywhere. Saudi, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, London, Paris, LA, San Francisco, like everywhere. I hate that feeling, being away from my family.
What was that defining moment for you in your journey where you're like, oh shit, this might not happen, and you start questioning yourself, but then like you snapped out of it and it was like, no, keep going?
The story always seems to have the same arc, where you come out the gate fast and you feel like, damn, this shit is easy. It's much easier than I thought. Then you have to scale. More people, growth, and then you run into those types of issues. And you're like, damn, I didn't know it was gonna be this hard managing people. Hiring people with skill sets that you necessarily can't do yourself. A lot of times when you start a business, you can play every position on the field. But when you get to 20 people, you can't play all those positions anymore. And now you're like, shit, I have to trust. I have to trust that this person who I hired, which I can't even monitor what they're doing really, because I don't even know how to do what they're doing. But they're I'm ultimately responsible for them.
And they're 2 family members.
And they could be anybody. They could be family members, which I don't recommend, but they could be family members. And you go through that circumstance, and it's hard. It's difficult. Then you pass that hurdle, ultimately, and then it goes just more and more people managing them, and you're trying to hold them responsible for the original vision that you had. And you have to keep articulating that vision and getting it finer and finer and finer. Because sometimes, depends on the business you're in, you may have an idea and it can be this wide. And then when you from failing and learning and whatever, you find out, oh, this is the lane right here. It ain't all this, it's this right here. But to get to that point, the one thing you learn is like, failure is actually in wisdom. And the magic and the trick is being able to fail and still have enough runway to continue. Which is why they tell you a lot in Silicon Valley to fail fast.
Fast, that's a book.
Failing fast is an incredibly, it's beneficial because you save money, you save time, and you still have more money to invest in a thing that's working.
Now break that down real quick, because I think that's a book, and I think I may have like skimmed through it. Because like when you say fail fast, can you give us examples really quick? And I'm gonna start off one real quick. Bad hire, I gotta let you go.
Yeah.
You're better off somewhere else. No hard feelings.
That's hire slowly, fire quickly.
Okay.
That's a whole nother chapter or another book. Hire slowly, fire quickly. Very rarely do people that, I ask this question a lot to my executives when somebody's not working out. I'm like, now be honest with me. When did you really know it wasn't working? And was the thing that wasn't working ultimately the thing that you fired that person for 9 months later? It's always yes. A lot of times people don't want to fire people because they think it reflects poorly on them because they made the hire themselves. So they're like, shit, I hired this person, so it's a reflection on me. So if I fire them, it's gonna make me look bad. I've put bonus structure in for my executives on the faster they fire people. You get bonused on the speed in which you do it. Because that's efficiency. That's productive. You're saving the company money because you know that we're just gonna spend more time making this mistake. If you're firing somebody, it's bad behavior. One of the things that we need to know about companies, like any community or anything with people that are congregating, that bad behavior is contagious. You've seen it in the locker room.
That's right.
Once you got bad behavior being accepted in the locker room, what happens? Mm-hmm. Oh, you late for practice? They not saying nothing? We're all late for practice.
And this is not about me, it's about you, bro, but like I'm trying to learn from you. I call it divine mentorship. And so why it was important for me to connect with you, and this is a huge honor, blessing for me, because like I ain't trying to make the same mistakes you made. Mm-hmm. If I can learn from Steve and Tanning of America, your book, and all the other interviews you did, I watched everything. You was one of the first to ever sit down on Drink Champs. People don't know that. What I'm saying is, you know, like this dude is a disruptor. This dude is a trailblazer. Like that, to me, I gotta check my ego. Like I'm Brandon fucking Marshall, 13 years in the NFL. Even when we first talked about it, he was like, "Yo, B, I got you on my fantasy team."
He's crushing it.
Crushing it. Like that's how we connected originally.
Yeah.
And so like that shit don't exist in this space when I'm trying to build my second mountain. I'm like, it don't matter. Let me put that to the side. Brandon Marshall, the football player, don't even exist. If I gotta ask Steve 20 times, that's what I'm gonna do. Because what I know is he's creating so much. He's disrupting so much. And at the right time, if he's a real one, he gonna come back.
Let's talk about, to your point about disruption and entrepreneurship, 2017, what that was for me. So I have this idea for UnitedMasters. The idea is I'm watching artists who historically give their records to record companies, their rights as an artist, for like a small bonus, sign on, $500,000, $1 million, maybe $1 million. And as a result of that transaction, they now give away their name, image, and likeness, as well as the intellectual property of the music that they make. And then they get paid a royalty. So the record company gets 80 to 85% of the money, and the artist gets 15 to 20% of the money. That's the deal. So the artist becomes successful. They become a superstar, whatever they become, and they end up with no fucking money because they got 80% of the money. You got the smaller end. Meanwhile, you had the biggest contribution. And the asset that's created, the songs, they own it and they can sell it. And you don't have it. And you have no right or say so on where it goes. Right? That's the music business in 2017. Meanwhile, the hardest part of becoming a independent artist was being able to get your music distributed, because prior to streaming, it's hard to get 30,000, 50,000 CDs in Tower Records all over the country, or whatever the record stores were all over the country, because it's physical distribution. It's difficult to do that. You need scale for physical distribution. But when you got digital distribution and it's a file, that barrier of entry is gone. Then you have the cost of recording music coming down, right? Like, no different than camera equipment. The price had come down. As technology made it cheaper and more affordable to get high quality sound and high quality cinematography, these artists could start making music and music videos without needing, huge investments from record companies. So there's no more barrier of entry with distribution, and the cost of sound and video equipment has come down dramatically. Why would I give away my rights? That led to me starting UnitedMasters, where I wanted to build software that you could actually record the song in your house and get it to Apple and Spotify that evening, okay? That's all the record company was doing. They were distributing your music, then they were helping you market. The artists today, Instagram and TikTok is MTV. That's where the music videos are being found. That's where the content's at. Record companies don't own that. Radio means less and less. So I'm just painting you the entire picture on why that industry was ripe for disruption. I want the entrepreneurs watching this to understand. I'm building this company. I know in order to do this, the main ingredient is technology. Steve, you from Queens, New York. Man, what do you mean technology? Like, you gotta hire engineers? What are you gonna do? So what do? I spend the time, as persistent as you are with me, to meet a gentleman named Ben Horowitz. He's in Silicon Valley. He's the #1 VC out there, or he's on his way to becoming the #1 VC. This man loves the idea, but now I have to, that's fine, I can get money, but I gotta get embedded in the culture of technology. I don't do that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in New York City doing my thing. Wednesday night, I fly to San Francisco. Leave at 9, get there at midnight. Thursday morning, I got meetings, lunch meetings, breakfast meetings. I'm meeting subject matter experts, people who can help me. Friday, doing the same thing. Saturday, fly back Sunday, rinse and repeat. I did that for 7 years. Bought Golden State Warrior tickets. People thought I had an apartment in San Francisco. I got so deep. People thought I lived in San Francisco. If I go to San Francisco, people, I didn't live there. I was there every week for 7 years. I know engineers. I can tell you their wives' name, their kids' names, where they hang out at, everything. Because I had to build a team. I opened up a store, a clothing street store there, was selling clothes, just so I knew people had to go there so I could start meeting people at the store, because I had the store.
So this is why I say we need 5 hours. Let me ask you this question. Are you a genius?
No, I don't think I'm a genius. I think I do one thing really well. I follow rational thought all the way out.
Like, I don't know what you talking about, rational thought. Like, I don't know even, I can't even relate to that. What are you talking about? What is the one thing? I don't know what the rational thought means.
If you follow something logically and you follow it all the way out, then you'll start to see around the corner. Like, if you
but you talking about logic, but going from $2.5 million base salary to $150,000 is not logic.
That part's not logic. The part that is logic, the part that was logic was I made the soundtrack to Men in Black. That's when I was making this money, okay?
Yeah, okay, let's get to it, go.
I make the soundtrack to Men in Black. We sell 10 million albums. The fucking glasses he had sold 14 million, man. We got paid nothing from that. I knew for a fact that it was that music video and I make these look good and all that shit that he did that made those glasses sell. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't we getting paid off of this? And everybody else is happy that we sold 10 million records. And I'm like, well, what did they make and why aren't we part of that? That's logical, okay? What's illogical is being happy with what you made and not following out all of what you impacted and what you should actually get paid for. Boom. I end up getting close with that agency that did the product placement for Will Smith. That's the agency that a few years later, I took $150,000 on and I end up owning a piece of it, okay? That's what I did. So that's rational thought because I knew I could affect the music industry more being outside the industry than inside the industry.
You're a genius, bro. You're a genius. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna give you your flowers here. I'm gonna put your crown on your head right now. You're a genius, and like you're a boss. Real bosses is never gonna go out there and talk about themselves. They're gonna let the people talk about them, and that's our responsibility to give the people who came before us their flowers and their crown. You are that, and so like you, when you speak now, you speak from like a different space. Like you up there with the Zuckerbergs. You're Elon Musk. A lot of people don't even know that you're like you said, it's like I knew what you literally just said and I interrupted you. I can do more for this outside of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of us don't even know your story. The stories, Nas, Jay-Z. I ain't even know about Men in Black. Do people know about, Run DMC? Do people know about LL Cool J? Your story's there. Yeah. People don't know those stories.
I've been in the music business since I was 21 years old. I'm 53. And the first thing that I did that put me on the map was I made the theme song for the Martin Lawrence show. Martin. And that was the first time I got something published. It was on television every week and shit. That feeling was a good feeling. And I started from the bottom. I started as a road manager, checking Kid and Play in the hotels and all that. So again, playing every position on the field. And I, then met Nas, Like You, Fearless. I didn't know Queensbridge, nothing. I just walk in there. I literally walked through the projects like it had a front door and asked them, does anybody know Nas? And that's how I met him. And
in the album you produced?
Yeah, it was written, which is, I love him. He's been, I realize as time goes on that out of all the things that I've accomplished, being able to work with him at that point in his career is one of the greatest achievements I've ever done.
Why?
Because Nas is one of the greatest writers that ever walked the face of this earth. And I got a chance to work with that level of genius talent very closely. And I had to care for it, and I had to make sure it was right. And I respected it the entire way. And I learned from him how to treat artists. Because I've learned when people who have unique, special talent that cannot be replaced, man, you do everything you can to help foster that talent and move it forward. And shut the fuck up. You just get out the way and you make sure that those people have the best conditions possible to create unique, beautiful ideas. That's your job. And you know, that's what I've done my whole career, and I learned that from him, so that's why.
Take me through the moment where you, like, when you first realized like Nas was different, set apart, special. Like, is there one story?
Sitting in my mother's driveway, listening to the song, and it was one line. It said, "Writing on my words past the margin," and as soon as I was like, I couldn't even just believe that like he used that framing of like the words past the margin. And like, obviously, you know, in school they teach you don't write past the margin. But he was so lost in his thought that he wrote the line and visually spit it that way. I'm like, this guy, I mean, it is way more than that, but I'm just saying, I remember that line specifically. I was like, this guy is crazy. And then you heard, you know, I never sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death.
Made you think, thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking, like it was hard, but it was thoughtful. It was poetic. It was smart. It was insightful. It was brilliant. And then when you meet him, you realize these things come in different packages. Like, because it's hip hop. It's 94, 95, and he's coming from the projects. But he's Shakespeare, right? But he's coming at you with, you know, army fatigues and a lot of dudes around him that's holding
Queensbridge.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, let me not run from this. Let me find this thing, because the person who wrote that is special, and earned his trust, and that was it. But that was the moment. It was in my mom's driveway, and no matter what, I was like, I'm absolutely gonna find this guy, and I'm gonna work with him.
How
I don't
old
give
were
a
you?
fuck.
How old were you?
I was 25.
To me, that's genius. Is like for somebody to hear one line and you say, this dude's special. And I feel like that's what your whole career has been around, that, like, identifying talent and seeing the genius in people.
Then you develop a reputation that they could work with you and whatever, man, and it's cool. I've worked with everybody, man. I worked with LL, I worked with Nas, I worked with Jay, I worked with, you know, Dr. Dre, I worked with Lady Gaga, I worked with
Okay, so take me back to real quick, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll get back on track. LL Cool J and Gap.
LL Cool J had this thing where early in his career, not early in his career's been so long and celebrated, but he's do this thing where he'd make one great album and then like one bad album, and then one great album and one bad album. And if you were an LL Cool J fan like me, you were frustrated because you were always defending the bad album. The great albums were always didn't need anybody to defend it. He growing up was my favorite, period. And he's from Queens, and you know I'm from Queens, so we live like 3 miles from each other. So I make the album, the Hey Lover album, and LL, you remind me a little bit of him. His energy, he's like, let's get it done, let's get it done. He's a nonstop, let's get it done. Like, so we make the album with Doing It Well, Hey Lover. Mr. Smith is the album. Shit blows up. Great. No problem. The album before that wasn't good. We're following the same cycle. We have a hit. They call him for the Gap ad. He also is an owner of FUBU. So LL owned a percentage of FUBU at the time, for us, by us. And he does the Gap commercial, and he's so confident and LL Cool J about his life and shit. He does the Gap ad. It's in a white background. You can see the ad. Maybe we'll cut to it. And he sits there and he spits the rhyme a cappella. But he has a FUBU hat on. The Gap people is asking him, yo, take the hat off. He's like, nah, this is a little small brand. This is my brand, a little small thing, whatever. So they allow him to take the hat, not take the hat off. He spits the rhyme, but in the middle of the rhyme, he says, for us, by us, on the low. It's like a dog whistle. Everybody's watching that who's from hip hop knows that's a FUBU hat on, and he's wearing it in broad daylight, saying for us, by us, on the low. Because he knows that nobody in this set, nobody around this company even knows.
He's a part owner.
Forget part owner, that he's promoting the company.
Social currency.
He said it in the rhyme. He said it in the rhyme. He's doing a Gap commercial spitting for us, by us, on the low. We're watching it at home like, we made it. We made it. Look what he just did. If he can do this, we're out of here, baby. We gone. That's how it felt.
So what we're gonna do right here, there's a few things that came up. Social currency. When we come out of this break, we're gonna talk about social currency. Want him to finish his thoughts on LL Cool J and the Gap, because in Tanning of America, he talks about like the social currency, leveraging social currency, our culture, hip hop being the #1 genre in the world to build commerce and business.
Yes.
And so that's what we're talking about here. You know, we'll get into some other legendary stories, Jay-Z, a lot that I know, some of that I don't know, and then also like the new disruption. Like I say, he's always 5-10 years ahead. So after the break, we'll get into this. It's football season, and you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. Well, this is AKA Chef Dan. Well, this is Chef Danny, AKA Chanel, and now AKA Chef Dior. So we're talking about her last big purchase. But anyways, Brandon Marshall here, Chef Danny here, the best in the business. And this is our 8-part series with Uber Eats game day snacks. We're feeling very flowy right now, or at least I am. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very flowy too.
You feeling flowy?
Everything's a vibe.
Okay. So look, what we're doing this week is buffalo shrimp.
Jalapeno poppers.
Ooh.
I put this together so, again, it's a simple dish and you guys can make it at home too. You can get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. So we have some jalapenos, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, breadcrumbs, shrimp that has been seasoned. Please season your food. And some buffalo sauce. Let's dive into this recipe. We got everything we needed delivered with Uber Eats. All you have to do is mix up the cream cheese, mozzarella, Parmesan, put that all together until it forms a paste. Add your shrimp or whatever protein of your choice. You can actually keep it pescatarian if you want. I mean, not pescatarian, you can actually keep it vegetarian if you want. And we're gonna bake those. I'm gonna show you what that finished product looked like because it's super simple, but really important.
Yeah, most men, y'all just wanna get on there and barbecue. Y'all gotta learn how to bake.
I just wanna show you this quickly. When you go ahead and slice the jalapenos, see these seeds, just take all of those seeds out unless you want to be extra spicy, that's up to you. Women, wear a glove because, you know, it's very important. I think guys too, whatever. But do that.
Okay,
wear gloves
going.
when you're taking the seeds out. And you're going to just put that filling in there, put it in the oven, 350 for 15 minutes. It'll be done. All right, so Brandon is going to go ahead and get the finished product out of the oven. As you see, he's wearing protective gear. Look at that.
You know I like it spicy, so I'm gonna do a
Yes,
little bit more. I'm gonna do a little bit more.
And you already know what's next.
There you go.
It's right there.
A little garnishing. Did I say that right? Garnishing.
Garnishing, yes.
We're gonna garnish a little bit, bang, 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 like Salt Bay. I'm gonna hit this up here like bang, 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 bang. And then I'm gonna take this bad boy right here, this beautiful boy.
Flower.
We're gonna put him right there.
Oh,
And then we're
Brandon,
gonna
you're
do
doing
this.
so much
We're gonna
better.
Put that right there. Look at that, bam.
All right, try it.
Here we go.
Try your masterpiece.
Yo. Another one. DJ Khaled voice.
Another one. Hits on hits.
Chef, why you ain't got no restaurant yet?
I actually consult and have other people. I help other people have restaurants. That's what.
Until we get to the restaurant, we're gonna be in my house.
My kitchen.
Game day snacks.
Hi.
There you have it. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
The team that they face in week 1, the Dallas Cowboys, is just drastically better than them.
I disagree.
Come on now, Brandon.
I just played 13
You're
years.
playing.
Can you listen
it's
to me?
nuance here, though.
It's not nuance.
It is nuance.
Dude, was best for them.
Half-assed a playoff appearance.
He didn't half-ass
Brandon,
it.
pull up his stats. He half-assed it. He
When
gave
you
us
say-
one game.
when
The
you-
minute something doesn't unfold the way that you want to, he checks out.
He chose not to pay James Harden.
Who you texting right now? Who you talking to? What's so important right now? You always on your phone. You building this empire. Who you talking to?
What am I doing? This is actually Ben Horowitz. This is my man. So Ben Horowitz, we're doing an event called Paid in Full, November 17th in Vegas. And what we're doing is honoring legends in music whose cultural contribution was not met with the financial success that it should have gotten because they signed deals that were not necessarily in their best interest. And we're granting them $500,000 and health insurance for life. We're honoring Scarface and Rakim. It's during F1 weekend in Vegas at the Guggenheim in Vegas. We're doing it, and we're gonna get it done. So that just happened. Yeah.
And then also when you talking about what this just happened, that remind me of like we come through in the NFL, NBA. There's an association.
Yeah.
I know how we can retire at 55. I can pull this out, I got insurance for 5 years. They need to change that. And so hearing you saying this is like, oh shit.
They don't have that in music.
They don't have that in music.
That's right. And they got fucked with really bad deals. So anyhow, but we're doing something honoring these people because what it says is it's not just so that we're clear. Paid in Full is not. It's me, Felicia Horowitz, Ben Horowitz, Nas, QD3, Quincy Jones' son, Fab Five Freddy. We're not just like, okay, if you're an artist and you're broke, or you're an artist and you got fucked up, rather, here's some money. We're not doing that. It's not that. There should be that, but this is not that. This is you, an artist, your cultural contribution is significant. And because of these bad record deals, you got fucked up. And the least we can do to pay it forward is to give you, this donation or this contribution rather to what you've done to your family and health insurance, and you keep doing your thing. I think that's the part that's important. Our thing is coming at it from a respecting for what you actually contributed. So you're talking about Scarface and Rakim. You're talking about the gods. You know what I'm saying? So it'll improve over time. I'm sure, like anything else that you disrupt, it's first disruption, then it becomes the norm. You need disruption to create. It works, and then everybody follows, and it becomes the norm. And then it changes the level of disruption. You got to disrupt it differently now, because when the third guy comes, it's no longer disruption. It's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So helping these artists it's important to me, and it's the values that I stand for. I've done this thing, man. I've been doing it long enough. That world, that's me. Ideas, you talk about disruption. One of my clients, since we're on advertising, is AT&T. And AT&T really wanted to do story doing. This whole idea of like, you could tell a story about 5G technology in this case, but what could we do with 5G technology to really demonstrate in a most obvious way, the power of that technology and connection changes everything, which is their line. So, the brilliant team, my guys, came up with an idea, and it was about
This is translation.
translation. Yeah, and it was really about how could we use 5G technology to impact society, and found this story about college football team, Gallaudet. Gallaudet is a deaf and hard of hearing football team. Obviously, they use sign language to communicate. They invented the huddle, Brandon.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They invented the huddle. The huddle was started by these people using sign language so that people couldn't steal their plays. They had to use the huddle.
So the huddle that I sat in for
Yes.
20 years
was
is
started by deaf and hard of hearing people. These are facts, okay? And professional athletes, guys who went to the pros, came from deaf and hard of hearing colleges in circumstances. But when the NFL went to microphones and audio in the helmets, they were out the game. They couldn't do it. The playing field was unequal. And we recognized that inequality and worked for 3 years tirelessly to come up with the technology and go through all the crash tests, to get these helmets approved, where we could put a device like on the visor where the player can actually see the audible versus hearing it. Bro, we launched it recently, man. It got 2 billion media impressions before the ad even ran. 2 billion. The human story of this. And the creative is brilliant. The advertising that goes with the helmet. The College Football Hall of Fame wants the helmet as a permanent installation. All of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that. It's very
Let me ask you this. Out of all the things that you've done, all the people you sat with, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, the LeBrons, the da-da-da-da-da, why does this make you so proud? Like, I can feel it. Like, why are you proud of this?
You're talking about a group of people that no one's using technology in an impactful way to change their lives, to give them a fair shot. And the fact that I could do that as an advertising agency, that I could come up with ideas that are so broad that you can focus on a group that deserves the attention, that hasn't had it in years, that can give these players the same exact opportunity as a kid coming from Alabama or whatever. Of course I have to do that. But that makes me proud because I'm realizing, maybe it's age and wisdom that goes along with it, that you have the power to do so much more, Steve. You have the power to change people's lives. You can change an artist's life. You can change an entrepreneur's life. But now you're changing lives for the deaf and the hard of hearing. When they put the helmet on for the first time, people were crying, man.
And we had a beautiful moment before where someone on my team.
Yeah, so then we made the film, and the film ran last week. It ran, on college game day and all that. And then the girl who sang, we used the song Sound of Silence, the Paul Simon song. And I'd like to play it. We have it here if we could play it, because the girl who sings this song, Mariah Unplugged, she is hard of hearing. The lead singer on this is hard of hearing. So when we go to her, and she's on UnitedMasters. So we got translation doing the ad. She's on UnitedMasters. She's deaf, hard of hearing. And we get her to make the song for the ad, and it's beautiful.
And I think we have that. All right, perfect. Let's play it. Well, I'm trying to feel it too. This is my first time hearing it.
So let's pull it up first, and then we pull it back down. Let's get it right. Let's fade that. Let's fade that. Let's fade that smoothly. A mirror unplugged, man.
So, wow. So Men in Black, to Nas, and so many others that we can talk about that I don't even know, and I've done my work. Where does this, it's not even about ranking. I feel like that's disrespectful. What, like from an impact standpoint, where does that sit with all the other soundtracks that you put together?
So this is more like, this is so real, man. Like, you make a helmet, change the lives of deaf athletes, and then you get Paul Simon to approve this classic song to be sung by a deaf girl who's hard of hearing, and AT&T is backing this, and she has an AT&T campaign that's gonna help change her life. And I do it now, man, without even, it's just how I think, man. That's how I think every day. It's like, where's the idea? Where's the impact? Oh my God, when this shit hits, it's gonna look like this. That I get excited. And I don't even know if everybody else gets excited. Like, I get excited. It's like how I feel.
What I, hearing you talk about like this, going into this is like purpose. I've heard purpose. Yeah. You know, like why the helmet? Like you get like, oh my goodness, this AT&T deal, death and the hard of hearing. It's like you said, purpose. And then what I saw, and this is where the genius comes, is ecosystem. Translation, boom, UnitedMasters.
Yeah.
Like everything you're built in this whole
working, yeah.
Right. And bro, like when I walk in here sometimes, I got 90 people that work with me.
And you told me that, by the way, you told me this when you walk in. You took me through the spot and you was talking about all the connections, right? From this to that, to this, to that, to the production facility in the back, and keeping people, I call it, the ecosystem is one way to explain it. It's a marketplace, right? And in that marketplace, if you build it correctly, whether you come in through this door or you come in through this door, the opportunity for you to be able to find benefits within the infrastructure of it all is what you're trying to build. It's very easy. Building a business is hard, but then once you get to building a business is hard, and you get through that door, then it becomes easy to say, okay, we're building one business that just does this one thing. We're going to build a gym, or we're going to build a company that sells nutritional elements, right? Or we're going to build, recovery, or we're going to build a studio, and we're going to do sports podcasts. But try to put them in one facility. The ambition of that, because you see the entire thing, how the cross-functional people you need to hire to be able to you can move from that part of the business to that part of the business to that part of the business to this part of the business seamlessly. When you're trying to build those types of businesses, Brandon, let me just talk to you about that. I speak about my company, and it sits at the convergence of culture, technology, and storytelling. And everybody has to be prolific at two of the three. You can't be the kid who codes that's too nerdy to hang out with the kid who's making the music. And the kid who's making the music can't be too cool to hang out with this person. And then the way I seat them, the way we all sit together, I put an engineer next to an A&R in a music business, next to a guy who's writing copy for an ad. They sit right near each other. They can't even avoid it. Their water cooler talks is about that. You put them in close proximity so that the values that are in your head on why you see all these things coming together, and you hire these people, you put them in close proximity so that's how they start sharing. Because the job is to get what's in your complex mind to get people to think and operate like that daily?
I'm tearing up right now, bro, because like it's validation of like why I needed to connect with you. And you are a genius. And it's such a beautiful thing because like it's easy for me to answer that question. You're like, yeah, I don't know if people get it. It's like I got 90 employees and when I walk in here, like I gotta be a lion, I can't break. Also, like I know how all this shit work, but the difficult part is like get everybody aligned. It's like you don't have to understand this. But when athletes and artists walk in here, content and commerce gonna come out. So like it's this crazy ecosystem, but I see it and I feel it. And it's like the hardest part for me right now is like, do you feel it and see it? Or do you even need to see it and feel it? And so like it was easy for me to answer that question on like, you know, I saw purpose with this AT&T collab. And cause it's like, no, like I got an opportunity to use this to impact the community. Mm-hmm. And then it's the genius of it all is like how it all works together. Translation to UnitedMasters. And it's like how everything is working together. It's like a snake eating its tail.
So you have that. We're sitting in your facility talking about convergence. The production is so seamless in here. You guys have done this over and over and over and over. Whether it's athletes or everyday athletes, professional athletes or everyday athletes, you have something to serve. Whether it's, you know, you're gonna go through the bumps and bruises of that, man, because it's hard. You chose the hardest thing to do, to put 3 or 4 different things together that operate as individual businesses, but you see it as one. And there's nothing wrong. That's what Walt Disney did. It's theme parks, it's movies, it's cruises. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole package. And like when you choose to go that route, you go in it and you chase it and you feel good about it. Like there's no regrets in this game. There's no regrets in this game. The journey is where you enjoy. It's like at the end of it, you want to win, but enjoying the journey, knowing that you did something that you fully believe in and you put everything you got into it. Most people have never lived a life like that.
So I want to just say thank you, and I'm not even going to try. I'm going to sit with this and people can take it and do whatever they want with it, but like I read like my messages to you, talked about our history and our journey, and like it's God's timing. And if maybe you don't believe in God, the universe, with all of that, but like it was meant to be. Like I'm sitting in Houston, I'm doing this thing with Mobile One. Mm-hmm. I'm following 3 athletes throughout their season. I got this, but it's because of you reading your story and studying you. And so I'm in Houston, I get a call. I'm staying in what the hell's the name of the place the Doubletree? What the fuck is his name? This shit's trash. And I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I'm flying PJs when I'm in the peak of my career. Private jets. We go out there, I'm sitting in exit row, Southwest. I'm in a Doubletree. I can be making $5 million a year right now doing the traditional route. And so I'm standing in a fucking Doubletree. And there's no disrespect to the Doubletree, but what it is, it's like where I'm at.
You went really hard on the Doubletree. Just what you did.
I know, and that could be a potential, like, we would love to partner with you. Translation. But Steve, for me right now, like what I envision for my life is like, and it ain't even on no money thing, because like my number one goal, financial goal, is to give away $400 million to the mental health community. That's my impact on society. And so like, I want to stay at the Four Seasons. I want to stay at the Ritz-Carltons. I want to fly private, not because I want to, but because I have to. And I was telling this to my team. I said in 12 to 18 months, I'm gonna have a private jet. And the reason why I'm gonna have a private jet is because during football season, in the morning, I'm gonna be in Jacksonville, pregame, I'm gonna be on the field. I need content on the go. I know how to make that viral. Nobody can do what I do. Halftime, I'm gonna be in New York at MetLife Stadium, and I'm covering that game. And then post game, I'm gonna be over here. And then by the end of that game, I'm gonna be home. I need a private jet. So like I have this vision for my life, but like I'm embracing this and I'm loving this because it's like I'm willing, like
Yeah,
I'll
get
sleep
low.
on the floor right
You
now.
got to get low. You know, you got to get low.
That's that 2 million and two.
Yeah, 2.5 to 1 point. You just get low. Get low. It's fine. It's fine, man. Enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy the fact that you have the opportunity to do that. How about that?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So really quickly, because I want to end this, but you know, I'm trying to be the next Oprah Winfrey.
You're great at this. This is shocking how great. When I first started seeing you do it, I was like, damn, this nigga's really good at this. It's crazy. Like, it's wild.
So I appreciate that, and I received that. You know, so basically what I'm going to is like, and this is really quick because I want to be respectful of your time. I challenge you guys and I push you guys to like study Steve Stoute, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're in business, you're betting on yourself, you're in media and your content. Everybody now, if you're a new business, you have to be a media company and study him and he'll teach you that. And so like, please do that. And so like really quickly, quick answers. I want to go back to like, this is all the stuff I've learned from Divine Mentorship. It's like when we went to break, I talked about LL Cool J and the Gap. And the reason why that was significant, what I was trying to get you to talk about was social currency, like what Jay-Z is, and it's not even an empire, it's almost like a revolution, you know, like what he's been able to do. But then it's 50 Cent Vitamin Water, LeBron James, and what he's been able to do in the space uninterrupted in ownership. You were the first, and I feel like it was LL Cool J, and then there was Run DMC, right, who leveraged their social currency.
No, I'll tell you what happened. Run DMC they were the first to get this endorsement deal, where their impact on footwear took a company, Adidas, which had 2% market share in America, nowhere. In their 2% market share that they had in America, a majority of it was coming from the Northeast corridor. And an executive from Adidas went to the Northeast and found that the reason why the sneakers were selling at all was because of this group, Run DMC, but oddly enough, the kids were buying the sneakers and then throwing the shoelaces in the garbage. And they didn't understand why people would wear sneakers with no shoelaces. Anyhow, he ended up at a show at Madison Square Garden. And he went to the show, and Run said, everybody put your sneakers in the, he was gonna do my Adidas, put your Adidas in the air. And it was 18,000 people holding up sneakers. And they seen that. And that kid, he gave them a sneaker deal. That was the beginning of somebody believing in hip hop. And there was some early things around that time, like Sprite, followed suit, what have you. And then we did, Jay-Z comes and we start doing the sneakers at Reebok, in which they owned them. The G Units, the S. Carters, the ice creams for Pharrell. And that was a big shift because it went from like being an endorser of footwear to then owning the IP, owning the brand. And this whole idea of going from like, just like the shift in the way people get compensated, like indentured servants to slaves, to employee, to owner. And that's where we are right now in society, right? That's why you're not taking that money from whoever. You're building it, and that's why the DoubleTree's the DoubleTree for you. But you're on your way because you want to be an owner. You could settle and be an employee. You're not doing that.
It's hard.
You're not
it's
doing
painful at times.
Yeah, but you're ready to go. You're ready to go through the pain because you know it's on the other side. You believe in yourself because you're a real entrepreneur, right? It's not for everybody, but it's for the real entrepreneurs. So that's what happened in that story. So it was like Run DMC set the stage so that we could then do that and capitalize and get equity and build something that's important with those brands.
And the reason why that's important is bro, that's why like I was cutting you off. Hopefully you didn't feel disrespected or rushed. But I'm like, when you talking about the Midwest and you talking about all these other things, it's like we're not ready for that because I don't want to make the mistakes that you made or the Elon Musk's of the world made, the Obamas made. So that's why I want to connect with people like you. You be talking sometimes where it's like we're not vibrating at that same frequency.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
I learned that right here.
Really?
Because I don't know how not to be me. So somebody has to say, Steve, yo, you asked me, who are we on the phone with right now? So I was with my friend, he's going to the Middle East. We're going to things, in the Middle East.
Andreessen Horowitz, but you still didn't even tell that. Like we talking about billions of dollars.
But you know what we've done? We've given people enough to Google, enough to do the homework. If you want to do something, if your podcast, if this episode specifically is about mentorship, disrupting, and understanding, then it should come with homework.
You think we accomplished?
I think we accomplished that. I think we gave people enough names, enough circumstances that hopefully they respect the content that you make and everything that you stand for, you're not going to have anybody over here not saying nothing that's not important, that's not impactful. You're certainly not going to get tears or have that level of respect for somebody who didn't do stuff that mattered. That they should take that and give a fuck. Look it up. We did not waste one word. We did not waste one word, man. Everything we said right here today was a fact and was important at affecting our lives or others.
This was a blessing for me. Really quickly before we go, bro. Sorry, I said bro. It's like I ain't even my peer. Yeah. I'm getting too comfortable. This is my OG. This is my mentor. Like, you gonna be my mentor? Because
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
All I need from you is, and we'll work it out. It could be probably with you and your schedule, being real is like once a quarter. Like if I can get lunch once a quarter.
Well, in Florida, once a quarter we can do.
I know. Because you've been living in, since June you've been only been here 9 times.
First of all, you do know June to August in Florida is the worst.
See, well, I can't relate to that. See, what I'm realizing now is like there's an ebb and flow to
You don't
business.
care that it's 125 degrees?
Okay, watch this. The dude in Opelika in Liberty City, they gonna be here regardless. You, Elon Musk, Obama, y'all going to Europe.
Hold on,
you going to Europe.
I will tell you this right now. I will say it's official record.
That's what the rich do.
Listen to me.
Hold on. That's what they rich do. Oh, it's the summer. It's hot in South Florida.
Miami,
I'm going to go to
Miami at 2 p.m.
Don't matter.
in July is worse than the DoubleTree. All right, man. Thank you.
They call me Big Jack. Lost my fucking brother and that shit had me a bit sad. And now I'm chasing big cash. Niggas used to rip tags. I couldn't even stay the whole year. We used to skip class. Now all I do is get bags. I'm the one the family running to, whatever get bad. My city have a problem, first thing they tell you get jacked. If you ain't around no more, it's fuck you with your bitch ass. I was round for little cash, turn to fucking big cash. I ain't never touched a fucking woman, never snatched a purse. I'm the one that put the cape on and take her back to church. Me and Kate Westchester Daisy used to pack to work. Holy flow, should probably have a choir when I rap a verse. Seemed like everything was going backwards, had to rap reverse. Niggas try and mention Jag name, but never at me first. She done gave me easy access, she got that happy skirt. Ironic how we got about the trap from doing trappy work.